Welcome back, and joining me for a closer look at what's played out on the market scene today is Robert Towell from Sasfin. Well, thank you so much for your time, Rob. Very, very good things that I'm seeing on the screens today. A JSE that is in the green and a rand that is firing on now just below 18 Rand 20 against the US dollar. I imagine that this is a dollar story, right? Not really a rand story.
Yes, it's mainly a dollar story. South Africa's GDP didn't come in great during the week, so it is more of a weak dollar than a really strong rand. But I think that commodities in some of the sectors, like the platinum side, is starting to help some of the rand strength as well. And today, if you saw in the market, I mean, the platinum's just shot the lights out, even with a stronger rand. So we had Northern Platinum up about 10%. We had Impala up 9.5%, and
Wow.
I think the lag of their Amplats at around 5.3% up. So a really strong day for all the Plats that really drove the index today, along with Naspers and Prosus, which were both up 5%.
What's got the mighty dollar so rattled, though? Is it all the tariff action?
Yeah, it is a tariff action, and I think it's also the up and down of the tariff action. And, it's very aggressive, and then it comes back down again. Markets don't like inconsistency; they like they like certainty, and at the moment there's no certainty, and I think that the dollar's getting punished for it. And you China put in quite a lot of stimulus into the system, and then Germany's putting stimulus into the system. So I think people are looking elsewhere, maybe for some growth and also some stability.
All right. Well, talking about stability, we know that one of the stable sectors on the JSE is the banks. First Rand, they came out with their interim results today, posting normalized earnings growth of 10%. We did also have them posting a higher return on equity, also rewarding shareholders. I saw that the share price wasn't really changed on the day. So would you maybe describe these results as decent?
So a good set of numbers. I think the market is expecting these numbers. So it wasn't really much of a outperformance, but really solid numbers across the board. I think really why they haven't moved up is that they've got a provision in their numbers for a review of a UK lawsuit against them. And while other banks in the UK have increased their provisions, First Rand didn't increase their provisions around this review, and possibly people are expecting that they might have some fine and they might have to increase their provisions for this. First Rand said that they're not increasing the provision, and when they've got more information about it, they will increase the provision if needed or change the provision. So I think there's an overhang on the stock, but on an operating level, they did relatively well. Interesting, their credit book didn't really improve as much as the other banks did. It stayed flat. So that was quite interesting to see, but a very good dividend, an increase in the dividend. So a good set of numbers and a solid set of numbers, and we've seen that across all the banks in South Africa.
All right. Well, let's get into the insurance space. Sanlam came out with its annual results today, posting a climb of 14% on its net result from financial services. Of course, they also came out with an announcement, but let's actually start off with those numbers. Just another period of them illustrating a strong earnings growth momentum.
Yes, I think through a lot of their divisions as well. I think the main driver in these set of numbers was actually Santam's numbers. Santam was up 68%, and that was a very big driver for their numbers. And then their investment numbers were also good. I think about 19% up, 16% up on the investment book. So really solid numbers there. Allianz JV in Africa was a little bit of a weak point, but the rest of their business is really strong, a really good set of numbers. They really are becoming a monster of a business. They've now got their fingers in India. They're in Africa now, and the leader in South Africa as well. So a very big business, very well done, very well managed as well. So a very solid set of numbers, and I think they're trading in the mid 80s, and we should see them get through 90 Rand as well.
Well, what kind of beast will the partnership between Sanlam and 91 make Sanlam?
It's an interesting join up between 91. I think 91 are going to manage some of the assets for Sanlam. So Sanlam are going to take away some of their costs and ask somebody else to do that, and then they can carry on with their growth in their main business. So I think it's quite a good deal for them. And I think it's very good for 91, which gets a whole bunch of assets under management for themselves. So I think it's a good deal to start. I think their cultures are quite different, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out over a long period of time. But on the face value, it looks like a very good deal for both.
Before we get to your stock pick, let's quickly go to Grindrod, also releasing results today, saying that from the core business, revenues down 2%, headline earnings also declining 26%. We did see that stock plummeting 6%. If I remember correctly, also when they released their trading update, that stock was also under pressure. Just talk to me about why markets just keep driving the stock down.
Well, I think the port closures and the problems in Mozambique over the December-November period was a problem for them. And in their numbers now, they're showing it was about 180 to 200 million rand that they didn't get, which they lost over that period. If you write those numbers back, then the numbers are not that bad. And I think, at the moment, Mozambique is stable once again, and you should start to see growth come through from Grindrod. Across the board, they're in a very good position for a stable and better South Africa, especially with the rail side. They've got interest in Richards Bay now as well. And obviously that port railway line through to Maputo is growing. And, the volumes through that port are growing. So I think, this pullback that we've seen in the share price, I think maybe because of Maputo being closed, is justified. But I think it's a time to start to buy Grindrod at this level.
What else are you buying? Let's get to your stock pick.
Well, SA banks are still what we do like, and in that sector we like Capitec the best. They've got the right growth strategy. They've got minimum costs compared to some of the other big banks, and they've still got growth potential. They've got a very good setup going with Sanlam actually as well. So they've got insurance now. They've got business banking, and they've got their normal banking as well, and credit cards. They've got home loans that are coming on board as well. So they're still growing. I think that's still our best pick in the sector at the moment.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your insights there, Rob. That was Robert Towell from Sasfin Wealth.